Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a package to unbox for you. This package comes by way of EMPEDC. So, John Rusk and team have a new model. This is their OTF. So, I believe they have this OTF manufactured by Best Tech Knives in China, which is pretty sweet because there's one other company I've worked with a little bit, Tacom Knives, that has OTFs made. They're mostly an OTF company, and they use Best Tech, and the quality is really, really good for the price. Now, I don't know what these are going to cost. Most EMP knives are going to be around $300, so we'll see. These are dropping on November 4th, Saturday, November 4th. Usually they do a 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern drop. I will link it down below. So go check it out, EMPEDC. This is the Pulse OTF, and we're going to check it out now. Let's see, what kind of box are we working with here? They always have different packaging. Here we go. We got a nice little zip. Silicone, in case you want to have a snack. We have another one. All right, here it is, the Pulse OTF in Magna Cut. Date of birth, September 2023, and this is the first run. EMPEDC. It's like a mini coaster. I like that. We have a little sticker set up here. We have the Atom logo. We have the Atom Bomb. And we have the standard EMPEDC sticker. All well done there. Tuck this in. He said he was sending some of these around, so I believe this is just for me to check out. If it does turn out that he was sending this to me, then I'll pass it around to my pass around group and make sure it gets sent around so everybody can check it out. First thing I'm gonna say is I handled this, I believe, at Blade Show. I handled the prototype. And I kind of felt like it was a little big. Now, when I say big, I mean wide. It's the perfect size in hand. I honestly thought it was a little too wide for an OTF. A lot of OTFs are thinner. Unfortunately, I don't have any OTFs here. I'm not the biggest OTF guy. But I gotta say, this feels really, really good. Now, I believe this is aluminum, but I'm not positive. It's possible that it's titanium. First thing I'm noticing is that tip is right up there. Look at that. But it's a Warney style blade, so it really doesn't matter. No, I'm not touching it. So, man, that is literally right there. That is insane. But you cannot, no, I'm just kidding. You can't poke yourself. So that's perfect. I mean, that literally means they've gotten every single bit out of this handle, right? And they put as much blade as they could into it. That's pretty cool. You have your classic EMPEDC clip right here. Again, I wish I had an EMPEDC to show you here, but the only one I own is out on pass around right now, so I can't compare that to you or do that comparison for you. But look at that ribbing, that milling that goes through that titanium clip and into the scale. That's pretty cool. Again, I'm pretty sure this is it's definitely not steel, but there's no way for me to know if it's titanium or aluminum. I think it's pretty standard to use aluminum, and I think if he had done titanium, he might have made it gray instead of black. But let's see if we can actually find out. I'm gonna grab my MacBook here because I feel like that's a pretty big thing for you guys to know. And I also want to see if I can pull up the price for you. I know some of you guys are going, show me that damn blade, Kev. Well, that's, you gotta earn that kind of stuff. You gotta earn that kind of stuff from me. I don't just give out blades, All right, so it's going to be $260. $260, and you have a stonewash blade, a belt satin blade. That one's $270, so you pay $10 for the belt satin. You should pay $10 for the belt satin. And then you can buy a Zircuti clip that looks absolutely stunning. It's not Mokutai, it's Zircuti. And that guy is, it looks like $99. Now, the one thing I want to point out is in the pictures of the clip, there's two different ones. There's one with the ribbing or the milling in it, and then there's one with just no ribbing, just a Zircuti clip. But there's no option for either or, so I don't know which one you get. But I just thought that was interesting. It is milled aluminum. It's T66061, 6061 aluminum. Standard aluminum for stuff like this, which is very cool. You're at magnet cut 62 to 64. That is a bold claim. I obviously believe it's true, but I know Best Tech, last time I checked, was at 62.5 on their HRC, so they must have got the memo from the US here. We're looking at a 3.2-inch blade length and a total length of 7.6. You know, we'll check that. Titanium milled pocket clip. The button is titanium. That's a slick little detail. And you have stainless steel hardware. It is all T8. I believe I saw that they upgraded from the prototype to all T8. All right, you ready? Woo! All right, so here she is, boys. We have the Pulse OTF. So you're going to have a, ooh, is that flat or hollow? I would assume it's hollow so you can get, you can actually use this blade, because if it's flat, you know, the very short grind is going to make it difficult to use. Well, anyway, I'll show you an example, actually. As soon as that thing came out of the blade, I was like, oh, that reminds me of my Denka. Because you can see you have a blade with a window in it, right? So you have a deployment hole, but no, you can't use that, obviously, on the Pulse. And then you have this grind that starts down low here. So, you know, you have all this blade that's not utilized, essentially. Same here. And you have that same kind of feeling where it's like, is that hollow? It feels like it possibly is. Let me grab something flat here. So I'm just going to grab something flat, lay it on the edge, and it does look like a slight hollow grind. And this thing, man, this one honestly almost feels flat. If it's hollow, it's very, very shallow. So I think this one just feels like it might be hollow, but it's not. And when you cut with this, you can tell, because it just doesn't cut really well, because it's such a short grind, and you know, you just don't have that much to work with. Another knife is the one we opened this with, which is the Kaiser Mercury. And this one also has a, I believe, hollow grind. I keep questioning myself on this. Very shallow. Oh, actually, I think that's flat. So I think I've been saying it's a hollow, but I think that's flat. Because I was surprised that Kaiser actually did a hollow grind. That is not hollow grind. But anyway, another shorter sort of grind. Let's see. Yeah, this looks like it thins out when it comes down to the tip. So that's nice, because you really want a hollow on something like this. Personally, I think I would prefer if this had a full height grind. So I don't see the necessity for the hole. I know it's a design thing for John, because it's across the line on his models. He has a hole there. But it would have allowed you to have a much taller grind, making it a much usable blade. Now, I'm not the user guy, so, you know, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite here. But I also think aesthetically, the whole, take it or leave it for me, because I can't flick it, so it doesn't really matter to me. Ergos are comfortable, man. That bit of width on the handle really does make it feel more comfortable. It kind of reminds me of the Slender Man. So if you look at John's OG model, the first thing he ever did, as far as I know, was the Slender Man back in 2019, 2020. And I believe it was 2020, actually. And the Slenderman was a super slim OTF. And that's essentially what I see here. And then you just widen it up, put a hole on it, right? It kind of has that vibe, which is cool. The spring on there is nice. That titanium switch is really good. It really rides well. Best Tech has just really crushed the OTF game, in my opinion. It's nice and smooth. My hands are relatively sweaty right now. I had a fire going downstairs. It's a pretty warm day, and I just wanted to use the fireplace. And so I'm a little bit sweaty. I've been working in the yard all day. And so even with that, I'm able to reliably fire this. I saw John in a video just like hammering this thing back and forth. And you can do that. I think I have weaker thumbs and I just have sweaty hands. So it's harder for me to do stuff like that. But if I'm normal and I just want to fire it and retract it, it's super fun. It's got a good snap to it, definitely. Has a good retraction. It's not letting me down in any way. It's satisfying, which is important. I like to have, if I'm going to have an OTF, you know, I want it to be satisfying. The clip. So the clip is moving a little bit there. Let me just grab a T8 because I'm pretty sure John would usually drop it into a pocket, in which case maybe these screws are just loose. That one's tight. That one was a little loose, maybe. Let me see if I can remove these. Let me see what's going on under here. Under the hood. So we have 2 screws there. We do have a landing pad. That's good. I'm glad I took this off because I wanted to check. I'm going to put it in pocket and see how it feels. Because with the milling, you would expect it could be a little bit of a pocket shredder. But he has a landing pad. Classic attention to detail there from John. So yeah, maybe this little cutout just isn't deep enough. Or, you know, this clip just wants to move. If I pin it down with my thumb, I mean, I can move it a little bit there. But it feels like maybe these screws, let me switch them and see if that does anything. It's also not my knife as far as I know, so I don't want to just go stripping stuff out either. Yeah, it moves around a little bit. I'm not going to crank it any more than that because I just don't want to mess with it. And it's, yeah, it moves a little bit, but it's flush down here at the end. Let me put it in pocket, see how it pops in. I'll use both, let me sit down my flashlight. I'll use both the double seam and then the single. So on the double, it's definitely tight, but pops over. Not feeling the ribbing, really. On the single, pops over. No problem at all. You feel the ribbing as you pull it out because that clip it's like gliding across your pants. I think you just feel that. But it doesn't feel like it's tearing anything. And then when it pops off out of your pocket, it feels smooth. So the clip is well done. Good tension. No tap. I mean, they're always really good from John. And the one cool thing about his clips, they're super adjustable. So like, I know that sounds weird because most people probably don't even think about it, but if you ever felt like it was, you know, tapping or too tight or something, you can usually just unscrew these, flip it around, screw it back down, and then you can use the leverage to bend it up or down to get it the way you want it. Again, we have what I believe are T8s on the body. These are all T8s. These are satin they are steel. So he mentioned, which is interesting to me, that these are steel. We can confirm that with our little magnet pen. Yep. See nothing here. And then it retracts there. Titanium on the button, titanium on the clip, steel on the hardware. It was in the description. Now, yeah, I mean, I think that's probably just a cost thing. There might be guys out there who would want to anodize these if they were tie. I think it would have been cool if they matched the button there and the clip. So if you had like bead blasted titanium hardware, even steel would have been cool. But if you bead blast steel, you're asking for rusting. So that's probably why they didn't do that. But titanium ones bead blasted would have been cool. But I also like the contrast. I really like the aesthetic. I love the size. I mean, it really does fit the hand perfectly. I do not like overly large OTFs. Just not my thing. If you guys look, the only thing I really have in the OTF genre is the EXO. And I've shrunken down from, I never really liked the full size. Then I got the M, which is like a medium, I guess. And I eventually sold all those. And then I got the mini here. And I absolutely love this mini. The size is just perfect. And if you compare it to the Pulse here, you know, it's within that ballpark. I'd say this one is closer to the XOM, but, you know, still a great size. Let's actually go ahead and measure like we said we would. So he's got 3.2 on the blade length. See if I can get that tip caught here. Let's just do it. We'll do it this way then. Zzz. So we're looking at 3.2. Well, actually, if you go right to the handle, it's closer to, yeah, it's 3.2, 3.1, 3.2, whatever. Who cares? 7.4 overall. We have 7.6, it says. Yeah, I'm not seeing 7.6. You can see my ruler here. It's coming out. 7.6 would be here. So to me, it's 7.4. So I'm getting 3.1, 3 to 3.1 on the blade, and then 7.4 overall. But I mean, those are semantics. Maybe the prototype was those, and they changed some things. They got that tip all the way down there. Got the handle dialed in, so maybe that's why. But oh man, look at that. Yeah, it's sweet, guys. You got a really good marking. Normally, I hate anything laser marked or whatever. I'm guessing this is lasered on. But they did a fantastic job lasering that on. It really pops on there. If you look at any, I mean, I don't have any because I hate it. Any knife that has black hardware and then lasering on it just doesn't look good to me. This is a little different because it's, you know, a big old thing. It's not really a pivot, so I think it's cool. Would I have preferred it if he just left the whole handle milled like this on both sides? I don't know. I think it actually gives it some character. It kind of throws a little bit of something in there, along with the clip. I like that. And then the titanium switch there. So this is the Pulse OTF from EMPEDC. We'll see if I do another video before the drop. I might just use this video. I might throw it into a rapid review. I might do another video. I don't know. It depends on, you know, how it goes. But man, this thing, the action on it is super slick, super smooth. I mean, it feels as good as any OTF I've ever handled. I guess I should check for play because that's a thing. Yeah, you have play in all directions, but that's, again, that's pretty standard. Let's see if we can get it to fail or anything. Nope, not feeling anything. Can it deploy upside down? Yes. Can it retract? Yes, that's always good. yeah, I've had issues with Hogues where they just would not retract upside down. Let me try it at my side. Yeah, definitely slower when you do that, but that's every OTF. If you hold it like this, straight up, you'll get it to shoot in faster than if you do this. But it is retracting all the way, which is good. It looks sexy. It feels great in hand. I think personally, I don't love the blade window. It's just my personal preference. I think it didn't need it because you can't flick it, but I totally understand the design choice, being that all of his knives have that. So it makes perfect sense that it's there. I just think maybe I don't know. I'd have to see it without it to really know, but I definitely know that I would prefer it without the window and then the grind coming up to here, right? If you had that full grind up here, I think that would look a lot better, or work a lot better, I guess I should say. Do I have anything I can cut here for you guys? Because that would be nice, right? Wouldn't that be nice? So I have some paper here. Unfortunately, it has my address. Let me just cut this off. There we go. Nothing else? Okay. There's some paper. Let's see how she cuts paper. I mean, damn. No problemo on the paper. Now, I'm not saying that means anything, but it definitely does not have problems slicing through stuff, that's for sure. Let me grab this little sticker here I have. This is from Pinewood Machining. They make these little battery cases. Check them out, 3D printed battery cases for your flashlights. Awesome. Or anything. And this has some vinyl in there. It's a sticker, so it has a cover on it. And that's just, oh, that was me. Just annihilating it, which it should. But, I mean, if this really is Magna Cut at 63, 64, I mean, it says 62 to 64, but still, that means it could be 64. That's, I mean, that's going to have amazing edge retention, right? It's still going to be plenty tough. Do I have any, oops. See if I have any cardboard we can cut real quick. Because that's the thing I'd like to feel with this, is cardboard. Give me a second. I'm going to look around. Looking around. Ah, okay. I do have something. Let me grab it. Let me use this to cut it off. There's some tape involved too, so that's going to be interesting. Well, that answered one question right there. So usually if it's going to be hard to cut when I'm trying to just cut right off of a package, if I'm just trying to cut the, one of the wings off of a box, you could tell right away if it's going to be a pain in the ass. And this thing just went through that like a laser beam. So, good ergonomic grip. I don't feel like I'm in a bad spot on the switch, which is really important to me because with an OTF, if this is your grip for cutting, I don't know. I feel like that could be bad because you could be cutting and then pull down, right? But for me on this knife, I can kind of slide up a little bit and there's a little bit of jimping here. So I didn't even mention that yet because it hadn't occurred to me that that is a real comfortable spot to land. So let's see here. So you'll see I'm really not struggling. Now I am going to back up a little bit, but I'm going to land right here instead of on the switch. And this is actually really comfortable. And I'm backing up because in this grip, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting full blade extension. It just feels a little bit different. So I'm going to back up so I can feel like I'm using the full blade. And I mean, again, this is not like me cutting 1,000,000 pounds of cardboard, but like, hey, look at this. It has no effect on this knife. It is just, there's some tape in here as well. you know, I really expected it to hang up more. I expected that short grind to really play a part here. Yeah, I'm impressed. I just assumed, you know, the way I was looking at it was, you know, maybe he went for aesthetics over function on this with the hole, right? And that's definitely what happened. I mean, there's no way around that. If you were going for full function, there's no reason to have a shorter grind. But it seems like he made sure that it still functioned very well. And I think that's where that, if that really is a shallow hollow, which it feels like, that plays a part in it there. This will give me an opportunity to show you guys something that I love, which is KPL Knife Shield. Let me get all this destroyed cardboard out of here. That thing impressed the shit out of me just now. For example, what I should do is show you this knife with the flat grind is going to struggle. You see that? It can cut through it, no problem. But it's a little bit more difficult because that short grind and being flat, right? It makes it a little more uncomfortable. Let me actually get another piece. Try to be fair here and get one with the see, that was a little harder. Get one with tape on it again. This has my old address, but that's fine. So here's me cutting this. Still very good, but it's struggling through that cut a little more, where if I grab this guy, right, it just wants to sort of laser beam right through like that, where this, it's just a little less smooth, right? You can get those little hang-ups where this feels like maybe it just has more power because I have a much stronger grip on it than this. And I love this as a cutter. I've used it utility cutting and cut some cardboard, but you just get a really good, strong purchase on this thing. Another example is that Denka. This is just not a good cutter because of that short grind. And then it kind of wedges. It gets into this thick blade stock, and it just makes it much more cumbersome. Where this, I don't know if it's the hollow grind or what, it has to be because it also has a thicker blade stock there, but it just eats. Yeah, so there you go. There's a little comparison. I know I'm not the cut test channel guy, but I wanted to put it through a little bit just to kind of show you what I'm thinking. So this is what you do, because again, not my knife. You shake it, make it all milky looking, which I love. And then off camera, so you don't spray your desk. And I'm going to be very careful with this because I do not want to get any in the action there. So you just rub it on like that. And then you just wipe it off. And then you just use your towel. Make sure if you have any like thick, gunky tape or something, you can kind of just smooth it out and it'll come off. Now we're going to see if I marked up the finish it all with all that cardboard, but I mean, you would think being magna cut and everything should hold up. So there you go. That's after KPL Knife Shield. I'd say that looks damn near like brand new. Get that little bit there. What's that? There we go. Got it. And then I'm just going to make sure there's nothing anywhere because I'm about to retract it, and you don't want to get that stuff down in the action. So there it goes. No problem. And then you do the same thing. Whoops, just sprayed my MacBook. But literally just rub it. You don't even have to do that, they say, but I do it, and then I just squeeze and pull. And then you'll see there's still some residual stuff, and I just kind of, you don't have to use a ton of pressure. You just kind of make sure you get it all. And there you go. Just like new. So, I think that's enough for this video. That is the EMPEDC Pulse OTF. I gotta say, I mean, I thought it was cool, right? I like OTFs. I like John. I like EMPEDC. Always have. Go back and watch from the beginning. I mean, I was on the bandwagon. But, you know, I was skeptical on this one. But I should have known, I guess, because, you know, his beginnings were the OTF. So this is just another awesome model from EMPEDC. So check it out. The Pulse OTF dropping November 4th. And I think really, if you guys want an honest take on the recommendation here, if the aesthetic is for you, then, I mean, I think it's a great piece. The only little issue I noticed was the clip. But even that, now that I tighten it down, I bet you if this was mine, I would just crank that a little bit tighter. I'm afraid right now to go too tight, so I didn't. But if it were mine, I would just crank that a little tighter, and I think it would be gone. But it's nearly gone. I can click it a little that way. But that's it. I mean, I don't know how much you would actually notice that. But that's the only thing, you know? And then it comes down to the aesthetics for you, if you like the hole or not. But I will say, functionally, that was the main reason I think I didn't like the hole, was because I thought functionally it wouldn't cut as well. Now, it would probably be an absolute laser beam if it was like a full, you know, grind like that. But it works really well. It does. And you guys know I love a sheep's foot blade. Utility cutting. It's going to do all that really well. It fires. Yeah, this thing's really good. So, yeah. Pulse OTF, November 4th. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Links down below. Thank you to John for sending this my way. As always, appreciate you, brother. And hope it goes well. And I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.